Hello everyone. Welcome to the Code Quorum number 9 event. My name is Patrick Carson Wenas. I am the HR Operations and Talent Partner Team Lead here at Code, and I'll be your host and moderator for today. So I'm really happy that to see we have a lot of attendance joining from multiple platforms. Yeah, right now I see we have attendance coming from YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and also coming across from all over Asia Pacific, like Philippines, Pakistan, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia. Before we go into the event for today, I think it's best if we start with a quick introduction from our key speakers. So, for the first speakers we have on hand, please help to join me in welcoming Miss Charity Tura, the technical recruitment consultant at Go Team. So, Miss Charity, could you help to share a quick introduction about yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Ka. I'm a technical recruitment consultant from Go Team, and I've been in recruitment for 8 years or so now. So happy to share things here with you.
Awesome. So, thank you so much, Charity, for joining us here today. Next, we also have Mr. Kelvin Geranium. He is the Talent Acquisition APAC at Just Market. So, Mr. Kelvin, please help to share a quick introduction from your end as well.
Sure. Maybe I'm a bit junior from the previous speaker. I've been in the APEC recruitment for 7 years, juggling from startup, hospitality, and currently in the CFD industry. So yeah, that's how the background I shift currently in the recruitment.
Awesome. And no worries, there's no junior or senior level here. Everyone is here to learn. So, I'm really sure that you also have like a very insightful thing to share in the event later on. Really happy to have you both here. And last but not least, we also have Miss Safia Tran. She is the IT recruitment consultant at Persol APAC. So could you help to share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Patrick. Hello, everyone. Hello, Kevin, Charities. I also nervous when I the first time I'm a speaker. Yeah. So I'm Savia from Persons Apex. I'm have 5 years, yeah, 5 years of experience in IT recruitment. Yes,
Mhm.
I'm very happy and excited to join here today and share some a little helpful insight for everyone.
Awesome. And no worries, there's always first time for everything. So I'm really happy that you're all here to share the insight you have and also to share a little bit about your background regarding how you are using the AI recruitment hacks on your hiring workflow. So before we go into the sharing session number one, I think it will be fun if we start with a quick ice breaking game, yeah, before we dive in. I'd like to hear from the speakers here. Before we talk about work, how do you use AI outside of recruitment? Maybe we can start with Miss Charity.
Hi, everyone. It's very unconventional. I'm using AI to um, count my calorie intake.
Ah, I
It's
see.
funny because most of the apps right now you have to pay to get your calorie counted, but yeah, I use AI to do that. Though it's estimate, but it's still fun when you get to talk to someone about how much you're eating for the day. So it's funny, I know. Anyway, that's it for me.
I see. That's really fun. And also, I think it's also really smart to go for the paywall of using the the other
It's free
calorie
though.
tracker. I see. Okay, so let's go to Kilvin. Could you help to share your AI hack that you're using outside of work?
Um, I really love traveling, and I think we believe every country they have like very special apps forever to support us in traveling. Like in Korea, they have Never. That's something that I never used before because in Indonesia we use Google a lot, right? WhatsApp a lot, Gojek and Grab. So I tend to use AI to help me learn how to use the local platform and also to understand like how to adapt with the local, route and so everything because it helps us a lot to understand so not to get lost in every country or maybe lost in translation. So yeah, I think it helped us a lot.
I see. Okay, so you've been using AI during your travel. So where do you usually travel to? Like, what countries have you been to before?
I'm a bit unique because I love nature a bit too much. Like I love South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana. like also Bhutan for Asia, because the nature is still very virgin, right? So it's very enjoying.
I see. Okay, perfect. Awesome. And last but not least, Miss Saifia, could you also help to share your experience using AI on your daily activities?
Yeah, to be honest, me, I will use AI in nutrition and some skincare. About nutrition, I will use AI for make a meal plans when I want to gain weight. Or about the skincare, I would like to, I want to know or search some skincare product information before I buy it.
I see. Okay, so it's for your own research, yeah, for your personal research regarding how the skin cares affects your
Yeah, yeah,
beauty and
that's
well-being.
right.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's really insightful. So I'm really happy that you're all able to use AI for multiple reasons in your daily activities. It doesn't have to be work related. So I'm really happy that AI has been quite integrated in our life, and I think it's best if we also dive into how AI can help you in your workflow, especially as a recruiter, working in this domain where you are working with a lot of people. You have to do a lot of interviews. You can use AI to make it a lot easier. So I'm afraid Miss Charity is having a little issue. Okay, she's back right now. Hi, Charity. Can you hear us?
Yes, hi. Sorry about that.
No worries at all. We were just finishing wrapping up the discussions with the team. Yeah. Okay, before I go into the sharing sessions, I see that we also have some notes here by from LinkedIn. So hello, Tran. We also have people from LinkedIn as well. Liz, hello, Liz. Anyone else dropping a comment in the chat? Okay, and we also have Lucy. Excited to learn from you guys as well. So if you have any other connections who wants to say hi from YouTube as well and also from Facebook, feel free to drop a comment and we'll be sure to highlight it and share your message to the team. Okay, so without further ado, I think we can go ahead and start with the first sharing session. So maybe we can start first with Miss Charity. Could you help to share what AI hack you are currently using in your recruitment workflow, how you were able to discover it, and how does it affect your recruitment in?
Okay, that's a lot of questions in one go. But my AI hack is using AI to create hyper targeted and role specific interview questions. Initially, it became a problem before, where it's common that we generate questions based off from the job description, right? And it provides us with common interview questions for the roles that we were hiring for. Now, it has been a challenge because not all candidates have the same level of in-depth experience on the questions that we have, and so I refined this hack um, for a short while, for 3 months or so, actually, with a lot of inputs from the hiring managers, of course, on how we could make better questions specific on the experiences of the candidates, because having better or strategized targeted questions helps candidates cite examples specifically on the experiences they had. So that's my share for today.
I see. Okay, perfect. And what tool exactly do you use to personalize those interview questions that you mentioned before?
For Go Team, we are specifically using Claude, but then for today, I use Gemini to also see whether to share with you guys also that um, how I did it was it's applicable for both Claude and Gemini, and for ChatGPT. If you're using free ChatGPT, then it's kind of limited because of the number of files that you
Mm-hmm.
get to share with it and with the prompts. But right now, I'll be using I'll be using Gemini and Claude.
I see. Okay, perfect. All right. So moving forward, could you help to share how you were able to land on using Gemini? You mentioned before that it has less limitations than other AI platforms as well, but how were you able to discover Gemini before? And what makes you feel that it's the right tool to?
Um, so For this one, technically it should be Claude, but I'm just cautious about
Mm,
the tokens that I'm going to use. So I'm using Gemini for this example. But I for me my best preference is Claude because it provides you better insight. But then Gemini also is no difference because it still provides you information that what you need. So um, for preference, it's Claude, but for budget preference, I would go with Gemini or ChatGPT because I also understand that some recruiters doesn't have companies to provide them with the right tools, right? So that's why I'm giving you or I'm sharing today that the tools shouldn't matter, like where you are using it, as long as you're using the right prompt and you're looking, you are you have the right path towards what we're looking for, and I think that's all right.
I see. Perfect. And my last question probably is relating to the position. Say that you are uh, using this AI tool to target for. So, are you using it mainly for non-technical positions, so behavioral interviews, such as for like executive assistants, for accountants, or is it also applicable for more technical roles like software engineers, project managers, things like
Right.
that?
Thank you for that, Pat. I think recruiters tend, I mean, we have to understand that, um, having the right prep on an interview is essential. And regardless if it's technical or non-technical, you always have to prepare yourself, the type of questions that you get to ask, the profiles that you get to review before you jump into that call. Um, this share or the hack that I'm sharing is not specific to any industry at all, but mainly on how recruiters should or how I prepare myself before jumping in an interview, regardless of whether it's a technical or non-technical role, because recruiters have to be flexible, whether they should be taking in a technical requirement or not. And if you are a technical recruiter, then you should be prepared on whatever position you are hiring for. And we are not the master of all the positions we're hiring for, right? There's always
Mhm.
that new role that you get to receive that you don't know what type of questions you get to ask. And so AI is there to help us through and guide our candidates on what type of answers we need.
Perfectly said. I also believe that I think most of the people here, at least for me, I don't have a technical background in my repertoire. I'm a
Yeah, yeah,
psychology graduate, so I think I kinda relate with your what you mentioned before, preparing to interview someone, specifically if they are coming from a background that you are not familiar with.
yeah,
So those research is definitely something that's important. Okay, so can't wait
yeah.
to see you share the screen later on. But for now, I think let's go to the other speakers as well. Kilfin, could you help to share what your AI hack will be and what it's going to look like later?
Okay, sure. So I think it's continue from the previous speaker topic because I think we start with the interviewing process, but after that we have continued with more measure and also greasy stuff, right? Like we do the scorecard, we do the calibration with the hiring manager, whether we want to hire the candidate or not. And there is like one biggest issue, if especially if we are in the place where we have a structured ATS. For example, when you collect the feedback from the hiring manager from various channel. Let's say sometimes we got the feedback during the lunchtime. They meet us on the canteen, or it could be like they send out on email. It could be sent it by chat and so on. So sometimes we need to comply to understand every single aspect of the feedback like, from the hiring manager. And of course, this one hat we cannot like proceed everything at once. So what I'm gonna do, I'm utilizing things called Microsoft Copilot. So the Microsoft Copilot is actually a bit similar with what Trang shared before. We could use actually Cloud, or we could use also Gemini, or we could use ChatGPT. But what stand out most, I think, from Microsoft Copilot because in my previous experience, we can use this to be integrated into our communication channel. For example, we have Teams, or maybe we have another ATS platform that we can connect with Copilot. That's helped us not only like to trigger the AI utilization between the HR, but also to our employee. So that's why we use a Copilot. And in this Copilot, how I'm use it, usually I'm gonna gather all the feedback coming from whether like verbal, whether coming from email, or maybe coming from the scorecard from the ATS, and then I'm try to make the summarize, and then I put it on the Copilot, and I said, Copilot, please help me define what actually the divergent comment from each of the recruiter, what are the agreeable aspect from the all the panelists on the interview, and then what actually I need to discuss during the during the calibration, because
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to spend like 2 hours or 3 hours during the calibration just to fight between one interviewer with another interviewer. So we
Mm-hmm.
want like the discussion being smooth, and we answer what actually we want to answer. So it's being, I think the hiring manager need to do a judgment, not just like sharing information during the calibration. That's why when we have this kind of information from the AI, we already knew like what to talk during the hiring calibration. What aspect we need to agree on, and what aspect we need to make sure that we want to hire this candidate or not. What will be the reason behind. So I think that's helped us a lot in terms of not only working on the speed, but I think it's also test the quality of the discussion, because that's what we actually very important when we talk with working with the stakeholder. And I think the last one is actually how to make the feedback very visible to everyone, so we knew we talk with the same page, we knew what actually the core of the issue, and we talk with the hiring manager, so we agree on the same page at the end of the day. So I think that's how I utilize this kind of AI.
I see. Okay, awesome. I think I totally agree with you that for this Copilot AI, it's very useful to act kind of like as an assistant. Yeah. In addition to your workflow, it helps you to gather information more clearly. It helps you to summarize things and to communicate well with both the hiring partners, hiring managers, and the candidates themselves. How did you discover this tool specifically? Like, what brings you the idea to use and integrate this tool in your workflow?
I think previously we also discussed that budget is number one when we talk about the corporation. I agree with that. I really agree about that. But I think the first one as a recruiter, what we do is trial and error. Which one
Mm-hmm.
is actually the most useful one? And I agree that cloud nowadays they read data very well. I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
they compare every data out there from the LinkedIn, from any kind of search. But how I find Copilot first from the budget, and second, our aim goal at that time is actually how we want to introduce AI as something that we can use for daily business routine for recruiter and also for hiring manager. That's why we want to integrate this into our communication channel, which is Team at that time, and that's why we're finally using to choose a Copilot as one of the selected AI.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to see how you actually use it and how maybe I can also use it later. I think it's
Yeah.
a lot. It sounds like it makes it a lot more efficient. So I'm really happy to hear that. And lastly, Miss Safia, could you also help to share what your AI hack that you will be presenting?
Yeah, thanks, Patrick. Yeah, with me, my AI hack is turning Core into the thinking partner and a co-worker with me in some difficult recruitment projects. So with me, thinking partner means that I will ask Core not only answer me, but also discuss and debate problem with me. Maybe sometimes it also give me some different perspective or sometimes challenge my assumption. So from
Mm-hmm.
that, cloud can help me overcome some hidden hiring challenges.
I see. Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
similarly with what Charity said before, I think for Charity it was mostly for the interview personalizations for the questions, but from your end for using cloud, I think it's a lot more in depth. Yeah, I think it's a lot more general and also. Mhm.
Yeah,
So
yeah. There will be three problems that I need to AIs. Yes,
I
when
see.
I work on need roles, there are not always enough information from the clients in the first meetings. So I
Mm-hmm.
can know the mandatory requirements, but I don't know why the requirements are mandatory or why these requirements make it difficult to find a suitable candidates. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know the overall requirements. Yeah, so because of the limited information or some technologies definition that I have never ever have experience in recruiting, so I need to research information deeply. I have to search a lot of IT knowledge or salary benchmark or talent pool or competitor from the many sources in the internet and summarize it to can understand the nature of job or can understand the requirement. Yeah, so if I have a no Quora or AI, it take a lot of time to spend or over day to can summarize all of information from the internet. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so Claude will save a lot of time for me. Yes, and
Mm-hmm.
when I have I have found and summarized enough information, I also need a person who can beside me and talk with me, analyze with me, debate with me every day or every week to can adjust some sourcing direction. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So as a headhunter, each recruiter will take about responsibilities for their job or for their roles. So that's why I choose the core, become
Mm-hmm.
the person, like a person or like the colleagues that I
I
will talk with.
see.
I will talk with Claude every day, every week, and input a lot of talent markets or the insight from me or my thought to
Mhm.
Claude.
I
Yes, from
see.
that we can find out hidden pain point. Yeah.
I see. And it makes it how much more efficient would you say the hiring process has become since you've adopted the use of AI in your recruitment workflow?
When I applied AI to find out the pain point of each project, it takes 2 months. Yes, 2 months for the whole process. I hire successful.
Mm-hmm. I
Mm.
see. Okay. So it was a way shorter amount of time than before the use of AI. Is it what you're saying? Ah, okay. Awesome.
Yes.
So you mentioned before as well that you have three parts that you will be that you will be taking over. So I think I'm really excited to see how you dissect it later on. But
Yeah,
for
yeah. It
now,
was.
yeah. But for now, I think we can go ahead with the first speaker, Miss Charity, to present how she actually does the prompting and also how she sets up the Gemini notes to help her with the interview questionnaires to the candidates as well. So thank you so much, Kelvin. Thank you so much, Safia. I'll see you on the next session. Yeah. Okay. So let me quickly share the screen for Miss Charity's AI hack. Okay. So hopefully you can see the screen now. Uh, okay. So,
I'm just
Charity, you can start
that.
with your explanations.
All right. So, hi everyone. So this time I'm gonna share with you how to create targeted interview questions for the roles that you were hiring for. So so initially the problem here was that um, recruiters I was having troubles. I mean, we were invited by our CEO to actually audit our calls and how we actually perform and what type of questions were we asking the candidates. And so, with taking in multiple interviews at the same time, and then for the same role, tends to have a different level of interview quality on every candidate that you have looked into. And so that brought into a problem that maybe there were some of the responsibility pillars of a certain requirement were unchecked. And so the questions were also surface level. So I created this to help me prepare myself for an interview with a candidate. So this actually is divided into 5 segments that I'll just give you a quick run through. I can share with you guys later on what the prompt is all about, and you can do that with your own Gemini or whatever tool you guys have. So the prerequisites of this is that you needed to have the resume, the job description, a detailed job description of the requirements. So, say for example, if you were hiring for, I mean, the structure of the job description has to have the responsibility pillars of the role itself. So you have to work with your hiring manager on setting that up. So it has to be thorough, and then plus the resume. And the good thing about Go Team also, we put emphasis on personality profiles. So we added that also. Now we have to combine all three, have to create certain interview questions prepared for a candidate before jumping into an interview. So the first part there is you get a fit snapshot of the entire profile of the candidate. Why it matters because it flags structural role mismatches immediately to the candidate. What are the things that you need to deep dive into, and what are Because there are certain roles that require certain personalities, and so with the personality profile of the candidates, we contradict it and compare it with each other, and so you would learn whether this candidate's personality fits on the role itself that you are hiring for. Um, and so the type of questions are then provided on the second part, wherein it's interview questions organized by JD responsibility pillar. If you move to number two, Pat. So in this part, you get to have targeted specific interview questions. Why is it targeted? Because it's experience focus. So say for example, in code, could you share your experience related to this kind of responsibility? Say for example, in analytics, in creating dashboards, etc. So it's very specific, and we get to teach candidates, or we route the candidates properly on where is experience should be cited to, like with a number of companies that this candidate has been through. It would most like, if you give them generic interview questions, most likely they would just cite in wherever. Now the goal is to route them properly on the right company experience, and so you ask them deeper on that company experience. All right, so third one is the personality alignment, because with the personality of the candidate versus the requirement of the role, there are certain blind spots and um, I'd say drainers of a candidate's personality that most likely matter in hiring or interviewing a candidate. So, say for example, you're hiring for a engagement coordinator and the candidate is a introvert, so there might be some contradicting parts of being socially available for certain
Mm-hmm.
occasions, and so you have to dig deep on that. And fourth is the resume gaps, because you also, though it might not matter for some, but then these are just some things that some hiring managers and executives always take a look at. So you'll just have to make sure that you get to cite that. And the last one is the non-negotiables already. Like for example, if they're willing to go on site, if they're willing to go on night shift, those are already stated in. Now, if you share the result of this one path, you go down. This is the example of the snapshot of the candidate. It provides you the entire overview of the candidate's experience down to its personality. Moving on to the second one, you get to see already the question. So, for example, your resume emphasizes executive research and account mapping for corporate advisory and B2B clients. So, as you can see there, the questions actually cite certain companies that this candidate has been through, and also cites in a responsibility pillar of a requirement that you were hiring for. Therefore, candidates now are routed to cite examples or experiences based off from that company, and doesn't have to pick any of those companies that that candidate has been through. So this is now more focused. It's now more engaging because you can dig deep more on that certain experience, especially if you are citing for companies that are big and it's uh 5,000 headcount, and if that matters for a wide scaled experience, then that should really matter for you to ask more questions about that role. Okay, so going down now, so those are for the responsibility pillars alone. If you go down to the third one, Pat, this time it's more on the personality. So personality shape fit questions, because as you can see, so your profile identifies you as an id type who thrives on fast-paced big picture initiatives but notes that you can become impatient. So those are already captured in the personality profile that we uploaded, and it contradicts on the requirement of the role. So we ask more questions about that, and this is guided through from this prompt itself. So you don't really have to read everything in the prompt or in the results, but then this gives you an idea on which are the red flags that you need to dig deep on, especially if you are to endorse this candidate over to the hiring manager. Because if your hiring manager is thorough as my hiring manager, they would usually ask like, why are you endorsing this candidate if this candidate is gets drained about this specific routine? Like for example, it's a routinary task, and based off from the personality profile, this candidate gets drained on routinary tasks. So you have to contradict that, and you have to ask that during the interview itself. And then resume gaps are there. It's not something that you have to ask, but it's something that you should be aware about as a recruiter, because most likely if your hiring manager asks you and you say, "Oh, I wasn't able to ask that." So I was like, "Okay." But you should be aware of it in the first phase of the recruit of the interview, because We have to be prepared in the questions that our hiring managers ask us. And lastly, worth probing directly would be um, yeah, the non-negotiable. So, say for example, if you are hiring for a manager and you're hiring for a support role, and then this candidate was a manager before, it should be worth probing that you have to ask why was there the intention of stepping down from a leadership role to a support role, right? You might ask that also as a motivate as an intention of where his or her career is going to. So, um, all of these are important for me because it helps me with my line of questioning and it's more thorough. And when it comes to creating an evaluation to the candidate, I know for sure that I have ticked off all the necessary information on the responsibility of a role and yeah, all the other things that are needed to get a better evaluation instead of the generic ones. So hopefully you guys like that. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Charity, for the detailed explanations. It's really, really interesting. I think it's one thing that resonates with me a lot is how you're able to use this to fully understand the candidate's profile and personality again. Because I think most of the times recruiters they only care about the qualifications and the background of the candidates, the hands-on experience, and then when we go proceed the candidates to like the interview with the hiring manager or with the CEO, it oftentimes becomes not a culture fit. So I think this is a really good experience and also a really good hack to kind of like tackle that heads on and first and foremost before we go to the next step. Okay. So thank you so much, Charity, for the detailed explanations. Let me quickly stop the sharing screen for now. And I think we can go to the second sharing session from Kelvin regarding how he uses Microsoft Copilot. So please help to go ahead and share your screen.
Okay. Well, so here I think in terms of the Copilot, again, I'm not endorsing Copilot. Everyone, you can use any kind of AI platform, cloud. You can use Gemini or anyone. But if you want to try something that integrated into your system, I think this is one worth to try. And again, first thing first, I think when we want to prepare any kind of meeting with hiring manager, especially if you want to debrief for the final decision, one
Oh,
important.
Kelvin, I'm really sorry. Can you zoom in a little bit more? Because I
Sure,
think,
definitely.
yeah,
My, okay, 1 second.
okay,
Oops, sorry.
okay,
Uh,
perfect.
okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I mean, I think this the column file cannot be zoomed. Yeah, but basically, I think the very important again, what we need to put on the AI is actually the wording and also the instruction. So, for example, here I'm trying to say for the final meeting with the hiring manager, I want the AI to separate the piece of the interview feedback from one candidate, and then also write me the different panelists in the different the sentences of the comment from the hiring manager. So the first thing that I want AI do is actually organized by evaluating the criteria relevant to the role. So again, AI is not replacing our job, but it's actually assisting us. Like what Patrick said before. So here we need to define from the beginning what kind of aspect we want to evaluate from the candidate. Let's say I want hiring for partnership relation manager. So I want to see the candidate from the partnership management, business development, the compliance knowledge, communication, also cultural fit. And then after that, I want to to underline each of the criteria and summarize what actually each panelist say. And then after that, the most important one, what are the aspects they agree together and what actually is divergent for them because they might be contradict for each other. And then after that, end with the short discussion point to debrief. So I knew what actually the key takeaway that I need to bring on the discussion because sometimes I cannot say when you bring like the let's say C level, head level, and also manager level into the discussion, everyone will hurt into the C level saying whatever
Mhm.
we are not agree, we're gonna agree to the C level saying, right? So to avoid this kind of domination, that's why we need to make it fair, and that's why we need to make sure like there is a key point that we want to discuss there. And then after that, very important, say to the AI, do not make their own decisions. So just organize
I
like
see.
enter what actually the panelists say and what actually we need on that. And after that, I think if you have any kind of ATS result from like scorecard, or maybe you have any document from the interview, you can just upload it. But here I make it manual. For example, if you have like this kind of hiring manager who just want to send email, or maybe like they give like a verbal conversation on the hallway, then you can just also copy it and also put it here. Then you can and wait for a couple of seconds, and the AI will try to give us a couple of summary related to what we asked them.
I see. Okay.
All right. So
Okay.
here they let them let us know that what actually the panel say about each aspect that we want to see from the candidate in terms of the quality, and also the communication skill, the cultural fit aspect, and so on. And after that, they also give us the discussion point. What we this going to be very focused because they're gonna limit it into things that really need to be discussed during the meeting. First, for example, related to the critical deep of the compliance ownership of this role, because we want to understand whether this is something that we can groom by when the candidate is joining with us, or is something too shallow for us to hire this candidate because it might take too much time for us to give the mentorship. And then after that, we also gonna get information related to the limited coverage of the compliance should the panel weigh their strong enthusiasm against the fact that they didn't probe the compliance, and also balance the strength because they're going to compare like between all the aspects. Is it really worth it to see the candidate just because of one minus point, right? So there's something that we need to discuss with the hiring manager and to make sure that the it's fair because everyone gonna say what we ask them, not what they think about the candidate only.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that simplify and also make us easier to have to bring up the discussion with the hiring manager.
I see. Okay. I'm really interested with how you mentioned before that there's again the discussion points for the brief. And I think what you mentioned before, what you meant is that it also helps to eliminate the bias in the recruitment
Yeah.
process so that you can actually look into the result of the candidate's interview in an objective manner. Is it correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Because I think, again, AI is only an assistant. So make sure that we, as a recruiter, of course, gonna read again. Make sure we really understand what actually the result of the interview. But again, sometimes AI gonna let us know what we miss when we analyze by
Mhm.
ourselves, right? And also make us also understand how to be a bit more natural because we don't bring our emotions or didn't bring our personal aspect into the discussion when we talk with AI.
Yeah, agreed, agreed. Yeah, I think it's been a problem in the past that a lot of the recruitment process, there's a lot of bias between the recruiters, between the cultures, especially when you're hiring cross-culturally. So I think it's again something that's a really good point that you brought up before on how you can adjust and judge profiles and interview results more objectively. Okay, so perfect. Thank you so much, Kelvin, for the info. Now let's go to our final speakers sharing session. I think she has the most to say in the call. I think she's also prepared quite an extensive presentation or for us to dive into the demonstration regarding how she uses cloud on her recruitment activities. So, Miss Safia, are you ready to share the screen? Oh, and also I see that Mia Lon Nguyen, one of the attendants, for the speakers to share the prompt in the chat box. So for Miss Charity and for Mr. Kelvin, if you're able to, please also help to copy and share the prompt that you're using for them to use as well. Okay, so please go ahead, Miss Safia, to your presentation. I think you're still on mute, Safia.
Uh,
Okay, we can hear you now.
okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, okay. So screen. Can you see my screen?
Yep, we can.
Okay. Okay, I will share my experience with the cloud. Before I make a projects, some any recruitment projects, I will create one job for one recruitment project like that, right? Before I make it, I will set the set the fixed instructions for the clause in here, so you can see. That's in my instruction for Core. I will say that I'm a IT recruitment consultant specializing in senior and executive technology hirings, and will add core roles it to be the world-class executive search consultant, my mentor, thinking partner, and co-worker throughout every recruitment project. And I will set the core responsibilities, says communication style, says response format, and finally, I will emphasize core goals in not simply answer my question, but to think with me,
Mm.
challenge me, and help me become a better recruiter when solving some complex recruitment projects. Yeah, and then I save that. I say it. Yeah. So it's my Claude will memorize all of my context that I input into Claude. So it will memorize in here. Yeah. Okay,
Mhm.
I will go to the demo projects. I created the demo project separate to three parts for everyone easy to follow my workflow with the Claude. Yeah, in the part one, uh, it's quite for long, too long for sharing. Yeah, so in the part one, the purpose of part one, I want to understand more and deeply about the requirement and the nature of job. So I will input the um, job description file in here and the client note when I have a meeting with the client, input the clause, and I will say that with clause I'm working on the Android developer. I will give an example the specific roles like that. Android for X company. Here are the job descriptions. Client knows must have requirements and nice to have requirements. And I will ask Claude read through everything and help me understand the goals. So you can see these are some of my questions for Claude, like analyze the requirements, describe the ideal candidate, explains what this person will be doing, why the requirements are important. Even I also input my assumption in that because when I read the GD, it doesn't seem like the typical Android developer role that I usually recruit. It's very neutral for me. Yes. And I will ask about the core things. I need to understand about the target market, about the talent pool, and also I will emphasize again, Cloro is my coworker, thinking partner throughout this hiring project. So here are the results. I will show some key points that helpful for me in that. In the first one, so you can see Cloud pointing out this is not an Android app developer roles. It's an embedded payment terminal
Mhm.
engineering roles. So it's core exactly the name of the scope of work more than only focus the title of jobs, right? So based on that, I can narrow down the sourcing direction and only focus embedded payment terminal engineering. Yeah, so it's also make a comparison between typical Android developer and this roles. I make sure I can understand the difference between two roles. Yeah. Next, so you can see the information, the technology knowledge Claude give me, and explain detail of the each requirement in the job description file. So it's also explain the some keyword or some technology definition,
Mhm.
right? Yes. So I will scroll down for you can see the result. Here either some keyword, keyword that's keyword in the job description.
Mhm.
Yeah. And Kawaii also points out three core requirements that I need to focus, right? So yeah, this is important. Kawaii also depay with me when I ask Kawaii pay.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And about a talent pool based on the talent pool Claude give me, I can define the difficulty level of the job. and I will define, oh, okay, which is how many percent of the talent candidates on the in the whole market. Yeah, so you can see it's a very niche role,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, yeah, that's all of the information from the part one. When I have enough information, the part one, I starting sourcing the candidates on the LinkedIn recruiter, and after that, I will put in back my insight that I got from the market,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see I will input in that. This is the table of insight, my insight from when I search on LinkedIn recruiter, and I input. So also I will input the client feedback when they reject this profiles. Because I will send the clients some profiles in the first batch and client feedback for me. And here is the client feedbacks. Also, I will give Claude some thought about how I search the candidates on the LinkedIn recruiter, and and some my challenges or some my stock when I search, and I will input to ask Claude find out the key point that I make. Yeah.
I see.
So you can see the result of part two. The Claude will point it out where I'm right and where I'm wrong. And Claude also explain the client feedback, right? And also Claude can explain why the client said that. Mhm. And based on that, I can understand deeply about exactly the hidden problem of after when I give information from the Claude. Yes. So Claude will also point out my supply support. Based on that, I can review carefully about my sourcing strategy and adjust my sourcing direction on LinkedIn Recruiter. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I see. Okay.
So
All
you
right.
can see all of it for information in the part two. And after that, when I adjust my sourcing strategies, I will input the profile, the profile that I make or that I find out from the market, and I will input back to Claude suitable the best suitable profile like that. So, and I will give from now, I start debate and discuss with the core by my assumptions like that. So you can see that's all my discussions. And I want to clarify a few points of your core point. Yes. So you can see here
Mm-hmm.
is the result. Claude will read each point, is my point, like that,
Mm-hmm.
and review my profile that I input to Claude. So Claude will point it out which either factor is strong or which either factor is not strong for every requirement. Yes, and about the risky, Claude also give me some sample questions that I can deep talk with the candidate, right? And this is a key point that I need to Claude because Claude will challenge my assumptions and adjust my sourcing strategy, and sometimes it's also give me some strategies play to make sure that I can uh, on go in the right direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, and here the debates and discuss with the Claude. When I talk with Claude some question and ask Claude, how do you think about solutions or how do you think the other talent board? Claude will give me agree or not agree with me. Not not completely agree with me. Sometimes it's also not agree and give me some the reasons. Yeah. So that's my the workflows I work
Mm-hmm.
with the Claude. So it is like the circles. that's a so code that I want to I want to hire the successful candidates for the client. Yes, because I'm not in the client, so or I'm not in the business, so I need to find out by myself and research a lot of information during the process, and I will repeat this circle again, again, and again every days, every week, even every quarter to review my process until I feel the successful candidates for the client. Yeah, that's so. That's my sharing.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Safia, for the very detailed explanations. Yeah, I think it's also really important, like what you mentioned before, to approach these things with a lot of caution and to make sure that they are not just agreeing with whatever you say, but also to challenge the information that you ask or provided to the candidate as well, or to the system as well. I mean, so really happy to hear about this information. I think we can save any other questions to the Q&A session later on. Yeah, just to save on time. And I think before we go to the next session, which is the presentation from Coach, and could you also help to share like a quick line regarding what advice you would give to people who are new to using AI in the recruitment platforms or in the recruitment workflow here in this event? So you can stop sharing the screen, Safia, and maybe we can go
Okay.
back to Charity. So Charity, do you have any advice for any new recruiters who are dabbling in AI?
I would say that um, you shouldn't rely heavily on AI, but also learn on how it um, positions itself when it comes to the questions. So, eventually you won't really have AI all the time to create those questions, but the more you actually um, use it to generate questions or how to evaluate candidates, you should always make time to learn how it positions itself in creating those evaluations or those questions because it learning shouldn't stop just by with the
Mm-hmm.
platform. So yeah.
Awesome, totally agree. All right, so let's move on to Kilfin. Do you have any advice for the people who starts using AI in the recruitment process?
I think again, don't make sure that no, don't make don't lose like your value just because
Mm-hmm.
of we have AI. Make sure like we keep our strategical thinking, critical thinking. That just use AI as like assistant. That's why I think prompt is very important. So whenever you talk with your AI for any kind of getting aspiration or getting like any kind of insight, make sure that don't let them decide. So make sure your prompt is actually to get the insight to make sure like you get more idea on what it is, whatever it is for recruitment or maybe for any kind of things that we use every day. So yeah, that may be what I can need to say.
Sounds good. Awesome. And lastly, Safia, do you have any message or advice you'd like to share to the attendants here in the call?
Yeah, with me, in recruitment, we should teach AI like our second friend by providing full of context or real
Mhm.
experience that I make. So with me, I think AI still stick by theory, but humans have the real experience. If we can combine the large knowledge of AI and the real experience, the real action from the humans, we can create create a big result in the recruitment. So finally, I think AI doesn't make me doesn't the strategy for me. It make me
Mhm.
better for my strategy.
Agreed. Okay, so I think all of the consensus here, I think you all also have like a similar understanding, yeah, that for AI itself, it helps you to be better in recruitment, but it shouldn't replace you. It's there to assist you and to help to make your life easier, but you don't have to let it take over the role that you have already available. So I'm really happy that you are all able to come to the event. I'm really sorry for Mr. Kilfin. I believe you also have to leave early. For I really appreciate your time joining with us until now. As for the rest of the team, please help to stay in the call until the end because we do have a gift that we will have we will share with you at the end of the call as well. And we will be sharing the prompt for Miss Charity, Mr. Kelvin, and also Miss Safia's uh, discussion or presentation before in the chat box. Okay, so thank you so much, Mr. Kelvin, and I hope to
Yep.
see you at the next occasion. Thank
Thank you so
you.
much, Patrick. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much.
All right. So let me quickly go ahead and share the screen from my end. I think it's really interesting how everyone has their own AI hacks and how it might be able to fit the recruitment processes aspect or another. But in this case or in this occasion, I think I'd also like to get a chance to also share a little bit about the company that or the product that we have in our company here at Code. All right, so Miss Charity and the members in the chat box, can you see my screen right now?
Yeah, I can see.
I'll just
Yeah.
see it back.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. So this is the platform that we have right now at Code. You can access by going to code.world URL. But basically what we are is that we are a unified hiring platform built for enterprise scale. So what we do is that we help to centralize your hiring lifecycle. Have to work on disconnected tools like working on MetaView, for example, for the AI automated interview, working on the ATS for the applicant tracking system, and integrating it with disconnected tools as well. We are also backed by multiple elite global investors coming all over the way from Asia Pacific to Silicon Valley, along with some individual investors as well. And here is also our main products that we have right now, which is divided into three categories: our sourcing and outreach to help you find, evaluate, and reach out to qualified candidates at scale. For jobs in ATS, to automatically publish jobs, track applicants, and manage the hiring in one place. And also, of course, our bread and butter, the AI interview, which is an AI-led interviews and multi-agent assessments with exportable reports. So let me quickly share my screen as well. Let me switch to another tab. So this is the view once you have created an account. For all of those in the event right now, we're also going to be sharing you the link to log in to for a quick trial, yeah, regarding our product, and so you can find out how to explore posting jobs on our platforms and finding candidates automatically. But for now, let me quickly go to the dashboard. This is the view where you're going to see all of the reports that you have in your ATS or in your jobs posted in the past couple of weeks or couple of months. You can change it up to 72 hours here for the open job updates. Here also, we have the ability for you to uh, create an automatic or create a search using the searching feature that we have right now so that you're able to find candidates a lot easily using a couple of prompts. And we also have the button for you to see the jobs that have been successfully published and distributed to multiple channels in this occasion. And here, I'm going to show you how it's going to look like when you first create a sourcing search. So this is what it's going to look like. I believe you both have experience using LinkedIn Recruiter, yeah? Especially for Miss Safia, is it correct? Yeah. So
Yes, yes.
this is also quite similar where you input the title or the job title that you want the candidates to have, the years of experience, the hiring location under one command. Usually you will have to create a Boolean string for generating this result either on LinkedIn or on Google search. But for us, we are able to centralize it through the use of our platform where we will then surface candidates from multiple platforms outside of LinkedIn and beyond. So you can also select all of these categories manually right here by picking on the general information, the location of the candidates, the job that they're applying for, and even the language that they speak, etc. And once you have, let me just quickly pull up one of the previous role that we have published before. So, for example, this is for a software engineer. with 5 years of experience in Singapore, focusing in Next.js banking domain. So this is again just a quick view for the sourcing tab. But if you want to publish it as a job, you can also go here, and it will automatically distribute the job to 200 plus job portals in the market. So it will then gather all of the applicants' information under one pipeline, which will be shown here as well. But for now, let's focus on the AI search. So this is what it's going to look like. You will have the criteria already set or the filters already marked here. Feel free to adjust it later on once you have logged into your trial accounts as well. And you'll also be presented with the actual profile of the candidates along with their contact informations if we have it on our platform. So what's unique about us is that you can actually discover their email address and also their phone numbers if we already have it on our dashboard as well. Okay, like so. And if it's available, it will be shown in here as well. This is also a way for us to automate the business development or sorry, the recruitment reach out to the candidates automatically. Okay. So this is an example of when we have gotten the contact details for the candidates. And one thing that's really interesting is that, as you can see, we have 300 profiles here in the sourcing tab. It will be a hassle if you have to go through them one by one, even though we already have like the highlights of their experience here. So what you can do, I think this is going to be interesting for you who are experiencing or who are participating in the recruitment for massive scale. Like I believe for charity, you are hiring quite a lot of executive assistants, yeah, at Go Team. So what you can do is that for the talent pool that you have already established here, you just need to go to the AI ranking stage. You can also edit the criteria to better suits the job that you have right now. For now, let's keep it as such. And then you can always just go ahead and bulk search or bulk select the candidates that have the match score that you desire. For example, using or I'm selecting candidates who scores above 70%. If you still want to find candidates' informations and go through their profiles manually, you can also click on their profiles right here and it will show you a quick assessment of their information regarding the suitability they have with the role and also a quick information about their background. Okay. So, Charity and Safia, do you think this is a good a good tool that will be useful when you do recruitment later on? Like, have you ever seen something like this before in the past in any of your previous tool?
For me, we've Go Team has been using a lot of AI platforms, and we have our own internal AI tool as well. But
Mhm.
it's not in one tool like this. This is
Yeah.
really comprehensive and it's nice. Um, if you go to sourcing, Pat, does the when you search, because you showed earlier about searching, you know, writing in the prompt. Remember that?
Yes. Mhm.
Do you also do Boolean search from there, or do you just have to fill
Yes.
in the information based? Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
So that's really nice. Some other ATS can already upload ads on different platforms already, but this one
Mhm.
is quite cool because you already have everything in just one platform.
I'm really
Exactly.
happy you feel that way. I'm really happy you feel that way. And again, you'll also have the chance to directly use this platform. Yeah, once we finish the demonstration, when we give you the access to the platform. So let me quickly share you one very cool thing as well that we can do. So once you have finished bulk search or bulk selecting the candidates, like for example, right now I'm picking the top five, you can actually reach out to them automatically under one click. So this is the feature that we have, which is called sequence, and basically it will send an outreach email for the candidates to apply to the jobs. And depending on your setting, we can actually also set the outreach to be sent on multiple follow-ups. So if the candidates doesn't reply to the first email, they will then send a second follow-up and a final follow-up on the third email loop as well. So I think this will also help you and your team to automate the outreach process and shorten the time to contact the candidates and the leads that you want to hire from hours in a day to only a couple of minutes at a time. Okay, so right now the system is trying to find the emails of the candidates. Right now we have found four candidates' emails. Yeah, four of them have the work emails available, and only three of them have the personal emails. I would suggest going to go with personal emails for now, just to be safe, because sometimes work email can be directed to another person in the company with have the same name. So you can go ahead and add to sequence, and once you do, it will then be automatically moved to the sourcing shortlisted stage, and they will then receive the invitations from your end. We can also link this platform to your personal work email. So when the candidate receives the invitations, it will actually be sent from your own email address. So Charity and Safia, I think Safia, do you think this is something that's useful, yeah, for your outreach and streamlining the recruitment process for passive candidates?
Yeah, with me, I have a trend to try the the code platforms before. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I have a try to make a research on code platform, and I think it's very helpful because it's like the whole recruitment process that I do. So I can expand the talent pool. Instead of I only focus find the candidates in the linking, right? The
Mm-hmm.
code platform can collect all of candidates pool in the top CV or the number of the other sourcings on one ETS platform. So it's very helpful, and it's take say a lot of time when I search on quote platforms. Yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
so.
Awesome. I'm really happy that you feel that way. Okay, so let's move on to another feature that we have right now, which I think is really interesting. So I think this also relates to what you mentioned before, Charity, regarding how you use Gemini to generate the interview questions. Yeah. So actually, Code also have a similar tool, which is called the 3C interview, and we also divide the interview between two categories: the behavioral interview and also the coding interview. So here, for example, let's pull up a 3C interview, and we can also assign this to any jobs that we have here. For example, for a senior software engineer, it will then automatically copy the job descriptions that we have posted on the job pipeline. Or you can also assign the candidates to the 3C interview stage directly on the job once it's already been posted. You can also add the salary range, working hours, interview process that you want the Tracy to share with the candidate. So it's actually a two-way communications between the two, not just one. Once you are ready, you can click on next, and it will automatically generate an assessment based on whether you want it to be a quick behavioral interview, whether you want it to be a deep dive and technical interview relating to the programming languages that they're using right now, etc., etc. So once you are satisfied with the setting that you have, you can just automatically send the candidates the invitations, and then they will receive the following email body, which of course you can also edit before sending it out. Now that's for the 3C behavioral interview. We also have here the coding interview round. So for this coding interview, this is actually a coding task that we set for candidates to take. So I believe, Safia, you are currently dealing with quite a lot of technical roles, yeah? Is it correct? Like I believe you also have an Android developer role before. Safia, can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. Can you, sorry?
Mhm. So you mentioned before that I think in your practice session you were using an Android developer role as an example. Is it correct?
Yeah, yeah. Android developer is a example.
Mm-hmm. So
Hmm.
do you usually do the technical interview with them for the first round of interview, or do you have another engineer interviewing the candidates for those questions?
Mm, you mean that I have tried the code platforms for searching the Android developer knowledge, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah, about this feature, I haven't tried. I haven't tried.
Mhm.
I because I often use ChatGPT or Claude to explore the technology's knowledge.
I see.
Hmm.
So this is also something that if your team is interested in using, if they are actively working with technical roles, you're also able to enable the AI coding test, yeah, for the candidates. Currently, we support over 11 programming languages across multiple topics and difficulties as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is also the languages that they're using, which you can choose. And also, you can also list and add a coding task, or you can also create the option for the candidates to use AI assisted coding during the
Hmm.
test. Because I think a lot of the times companies have been starting using AI to help their engineers work. And it's also great to see how they're using AI during the interview later. And once you're done, you can click on next and follow the items as discussed. And once you have, this is also what it's going to look like. So let me start first with the behavioral interview. You'll be presented with the report regarding the candidate's overall performance during the interview, the whether the benchmark, yeah, whether they score highly across the candidates that have completed the interview, their resume that's also attached here, the current salary, expected salary, notice period, motivation to leave. If you add it in the questions as part of the interview, it will show here as well. And also the screening questions that has been answered by the candidate once they apply to the role. We also have the role proficiency and communication metrics for the candidates. And then we also have the interview signals. So this is really important when doing interviews with candidates who are um, possibly cheating, yeah. So either they are doing tab changes, abnormal eye tracking, face out of view, all of it will be recorded in the platform. And we also provide the full recording of the candidate's interview. So this is an example. Let me just quickly move forward. Okay. And then we also provide the timestamps regarding when the topics of discussion was done, the questions, the scores, which is also scored by multiple AI agents specific to the task, like here, and also with the full transcript of the discussion. So all of this can be either downloaded and shared in the form of PDF, or you can also copy the link and just share it to your hiring manager for review. So it eliminates the needs for you to build the report from scratch. This is also the view for our AI or coding interview as well. Here you can see that we have the ability for candidates to complete multiple coding tasks and sessions, and it will also provide you with the view of the codes and problem descriptions that we have provided to the candidates, along with the answer and also the scoring for the task execution. Okay, so I think that's all regarding the code demo. Thank you so much for listening to me, Babylon, until now. Do you have any questions regarding the tools, and do you think it's going to be useful, yeah, in your recruitment process in Parcel APAC and Go Team?
Yeah, I believe so. Thank you for that, Pat. It's a great reference as to what are the great things that we also need to utilize in better
Mm-hmm.
recruitment.
Okay, really happy you feel that way, Charity. And I think for now, we can go ahead with the last session that we have right now, yeah, which is the Q&A session. So I believe we have quite a lot of questions asked on the chat box right now. So perhaps we can also thank you so much, Adesola Dedapo, for the comments. I'm really happy you enjoyed the discussion. Thank you so much in the call. And let's start with the Q&A session. So for the moderator, could you help to pick up the first question? All right. So this is the first question for Miss Charity. Have the candidates noticed a difference in interview depth since you started using Gemini? And if so, what feedback have they given?
For this part, I haven't really validated it on the candidate side, but I was able to validate it on my end and also with the hiring manager when it comes to creating evaluations on the candidates that I have endorsed to. Um, the the responses that I get when I have generated those questions were more, um, they were more guided as to where I wanted to hear more from. So if it's an experience on a certain big company, then most of my questions are guided through there. And instead of like asking generic interview questions, candidates just pick out whatever, and the responses are surface level as well. So it's not very in depth. And so, with the help of Gemini now, I use Gemini actually for the reason that it's accessible to all other recruiters. But then for Go Team, we're actually using Claude as well. It's just that it's a convenience also for other recruiters to use it with Gemini because it's much more easier and accessible. So that's why it's in that platform. But um, the main point is that um, you guide candidates on where they could cite in the examples and experiences from where you're initially interested to learn more. So actually, when with the result of that, um, the feedback that I get to provide to the hiring manager is not just in general, but you can already put value that this candidate has experienced all of these responsibilities that we were seeking for in this certain organization. So you can cite in where as to what company it came from, and it's not very
Mm-hmm.
generic anymore. Like candidates are just spotting in which company they could easily think of immediately. So it helps the candidates and it helps me also as to what I wanted to hear and yeah, what we wanted to know.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Charity, for the answer. Whoever asked these questions, I hope it's already clear, yeah, from what what Charity has shared as well. Thank you so much, James, for the info as well. Okay, so we have a questions from Liz Tran to Miss Safia. Okay, so from Liz, I want to ask Safia about how you make cloud skips the generic hiring advice and give you really sharp, actionable strategies. I think this also relates to the first prompt that you created, yeah, regarding how you set the limitations for the cloud agent to give you the answers.
Yes, I use Core for define some core requirements, right? So, to make sure Core skip the generic hiring advice, I have to provide every what I'm doing on and or what I'm doing with the or how I search in some profile, which profiles I feel like the best profile for this job. The key point is that I have Claude will should not think alone. I have to think with Claude and adjust Claude directions. So every I adjust Claude, Claude can understand how the what is the ideal profile that I want to hide and what is the direct the sourcing direction I want to make. So every day, I think for a long time, I think this is the consistent that I make with the Claw. I need to consistent with Claw every day, every week, and every quarter. I review about the Claw things, Claw thought. So based on that, I can adjust Claw step by step.
I see. Perfectly said. Thank you so much,
Hmm.
Safia, for the answer. And I see we have one last question here. I think it's from Tran Mai to Miss Charity. So, hi, Charity. The candidate privacy is always a big topic. How have you set up Gemini to keep all that sensitive applicant data safe and sound?
All right. Thank you, Maeve. Is that how I should say it? But um, great that you mentioned about privacy because Gemini is a free channel for recruiters to use. Um, since with Go Team, we're quite sensitive about that. We're using an AI. Sorry, we're using an enterprise level account for Claude, so it's all private there. But what I could suggest for other recruiters who are utilizing Gemini is to um, remove the I would say, personal information of the candidate before you actually upload the resume, and heavily focus on the experiences and background of the candidate before you actually feed it with the actual prompt. So that's one way for us to safeguard the candidate information and privacy as well. So maybe that's just an added step on how to keep things private, but it's necessary also for us recruiters to take care of our candidates and and their information. So remove it first, and then you upload the experience versus responsibilities versus the personality profile. So yeah.
I see. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Charity, for the informations, yeah, for the answers for your questions as well. Okay. Do we have any more questions so far to be pointed out?
All good on my end, Pat. Thank you.
Okay. So I think if there's no more questions, we can end the call. I believe we also have the prompts from Charity, which have been shared as well by the host, yeah, on the chat box. If you can see it, please help to copy it, and we'll also share the prompt for the rest of the team as well. Again, for all of the attendants to the call, you can go to code.world to log in and create a trial account for 30 days. And for Miss Charity, Miss Safi, and also of course for Mr. Kelvin after the call, I'll be in contact with you and send the gift by the email, yeah, for your whole team to enjoy. All right, thank you so much, Safia. Thank you so much, Charity, and I
Thank you.
really enjoyed the discussion and wishing you the best on your journey ahead. Thank you so much, team. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Zavia.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Charity.
Thank you. Bye.